Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sanjay and our channel name is Sanjay Educational Academy. In this video we are going to see about time of supply. In this chapter there are only two sections, section 12 and section 13. Section 12 is time of supply for goods, section 13 is time of supply for services. Okay, before getting into the chapter, what is this time of supply? See, many students will get this point wrong. What they are thinking is, if supply is made this year, means tax has to be paid next year. That is wrong. That is in case of income tax. In GST, every month tax has to be paid. If a supply is made in January, means February I have to pay tax. If February supply has been paid, means March I have to pay tax. Like that, month by month I have to pay tax. Okay, if I am making a supply on 1st January and issuing the invoices also 1st January and payment is also made in 1st January, means then there is no confusion. The time of supply is 1st January. February I have to pay tax. But where the issue is where the problem is starting means, if the sale is made on 1st January and the invoice is given on the second month, February, and the payment is made in March. In that case, what is the time of supply? That is this chapter. Okay, let us first see section 12, time of supply for goods. In case of time of supply for goods, earliest of the following is the time of supply for the goods. Invoice date and invoice date or payment date or last date to issue invoice. Invoice date means the date on which the supplier is issuing invoice to the recipient, that date is known as invoice date. Payment date means the date on which the recipient is making the payment, that date is known as payment date. Last day to issue invoice. What is this last day to issue invoice? A separate section is there for last day to issue invoice, section 31. In that case, there are kinds of supply, one-time supply, continuous supply and sale or approval basis. In case of one-time supply means I am making supply only one time. Continuous supply means, for example, a construction work is going on. See, by the necessity, I will continuously buy the material from the supplier. For example, like sand and cement, I can't say I need a particular sand or a particular cement. By seeing the requirement, I will frequently buy from the supplier. In that case, there will be many transactions in a single day itself, a continuous transaction. So what I will do is, I will tell to the supplier, see, I have to make multiple transactions. So what I will do is, you just make a statement of what goods I am buying and what price I am making. I will make a payment in a particular date. I can't make payment for each and every transaction. I will pay totally on a particular date. That is known as continuous supply. Next is sale or approval basis. What does the sale or approval basis mean? See, I am giving a supplier giving a goods to a customer, and customer is using the product for a period of time. And if he likes the product, means he will buy the goods. If he doesn't like the product, means he will return the goods. That is known as sale on approval basis. If the customer approves it, it is a sale. If he doesn't approve it, it is not a sale. Okay, let us see what is the last day to issue invoice in case of one time of supply. In case of one time of supply, see whether the goods is movable goods or immovable goods. In case of movable goods, the date of removal of goods. Date of removal means the date on which the supplier is removing the goods from it. That date is known as that date is the last date to issue invoice. In case of goods involving no movement, in that case, last date to issue invoice is date on which the good is made available for the customer. The good is made delivery for the customer. Delivery in the sense symbolic delivery. Next, okay, I will again say it one more time. In case of one-time supply, see whether it is movable goods or non-movable goods. Movable goods means the last date is date of removal of goods. When there is no movement involved, means date on which the goods is made available for the customer. Okay, in case of continuous supply, the last date is date of issue of statement of account. I have already said that the supplier will make a statement what goods and all I purchase and what price, what is the value of the goods and what are the goods I purchase. He will make a statement of account. That the issuance of statement of accounts by the supplier to recipient, that date is known as, that date is the last date for issue of invoice. The invoice must be issued before the date of issuance of statement, on the date or before the date of issuance of statement of accounts. This is in case of continuous supply. Okay, what is in case of sale or approval basis? See, in case of sale or approval basis, the last date to issue invoice is date of approval by the customer. If the customer is not making approval and he is not returning the goods also means, then in that case, 6 months from the date of removal of goods, it is assumed that the customer has approved the goods. So, in that case, 6 months from the date of removal of goods is the last date to issue invoice. So, the invoice must be issued before 6 months from the date of removal of, on that date or before the date of 6 months from the date of removal of goods. Okay. So, sale of approval of goods, on or before the approval, the last date is approval date. In case of he has not made approval means 6 months from the date of 6 months from the date of removal of goods. This is in case of forward charge mechanism. Okay, what is in case of reverse charge mechanism? See, in case of reverse charge mechanism, the earliest of the following is the time of supply. Date of receipt of goods by recipient, the date in which the recipient received the goods from the supplier, that date, or the payment date, or 31st date from the date of invoice. Earliest of this date is the time of supply. Okay, next is section 13, time of supply of service. In that case, 3 dates are relevant. What are the relevant dates? Invoice date, payment date, and service date. Check whether the invoice is valid or invalid. If the invoice is issued within 30 days from the date of service means the invoice is valid. If not, means it is invalid. For regular case, it is 30 days. For in case of NBFC, non-banking financial company, it is 45 days. So, if the invoice is issued before the date means it is valid, after the date means it is invalid. So, in case of valid invoice, we have to compare the dates between invoice date and payment date. The earliest of the following is the time of supply. In case of invalid invoice, we have to compare between payment date and service date. And the earliest of the following is the time of supply. Okay. Now, this is for forward charge mechanism. Now let us see for reverse charge mechanism. In case of reverse charge mechanism, the earliest of the following is the time of supply. The earliest of the following is payment date and 61st date from the date of invoice. Payment date and 61st date from the date of invoice. Okay. In previous section, section 12, time of supply of goods, we have seen large date to issue of supply for 3 kinds of supply. What are those? One-time supply, continuous supply, and sale on approval basis. But in supply of service, we have only seen one-time supply. Sale on approval basis will not come here because it is a service, it is not a goods. So sale on approval basis will not come here, it will only come in goods. Okay, in case of continuous supply of service, the time of supply is, see whether there is due date or not. For example, if you are using Airtel postpaid, so there will be a bill date and there will be a due date. If there is the due date is the last date to issue invoice. If there is no due date, means the date on which the payment is made is the last date to issue invoice. Okay, friends. Now let us see time of supply for vouchers. See, in case of voucher means, for example, see, if someone is giving you an Amazon gift card, what you will do? You will use it on some day to purchase a goods. On that time, you will use the gift card code, or the voucher code, and you will redeem it and avail the discount for the goods you are buying. That is known as voucher. In that case, if the voucher is identifiable on what supply you are purchasing, it means then the time of supply is date of issuance of goods. If the voucher is, if we can't identify for what supply the voucher is used, means date of redemption of voucher is the date of time of supply. What is the redemption date? Means the date on which you are using the voucher to buy a goods, that date is known as redemption date. Okay, if it is identifiable means date of issue of the voucher. If it is not identifiable means date of redemption of voucher. Okay guys, now let us see a special case, reverse invoice. See, if a supplier is an unregistered person, he didn't exceed the threshold limit, so he didn't register. On a particular date, say for example 10th July is exceeding the threshold limit, so he has to register within 30 days. Before registration, he can't issue GST invoice. So, without issuing tax invoice, the recipient can't claim the input tax credit. So, see, 10th July itself, is exceeding the threshold limit. In that case, he need to register within 30 days. If he registered within 30 days, means he can issue revised invoice. If he didn't register within 30 days, means he can't issue a revised invoice. Revised invoices, earlier he didn't issue tax invoice, he will only issue bill of supply, because he didn't register, he didn't have a GSTN number, so he will issue only bill of supply. Using the bill of supply, the recipient can't claim input tax credit. So in that case, if the supplier is registered within 30 days, means he can issue revised invoice. So let's say if the value of the supply is less than 200 and the recipient is an unregistered person, in that case there is no need to issue tax invoice. If the value is less than 200 and the recipient is unregistered person, and if you are dealing in supplies with exempt supply and negative list, then in that case also tax invoice need not to be issued. You can just give a bill of supply. Okay guys, I came to the end of the video. Hope you like it. I hope this video is useful to you. Please share it to your friends and subscribe our channel. Thank you.